we just now felt this entire mountain shiver because there are blasts going on. As we were telling you, usually for the limestone mining, the acceptable range of the blast is around 1 meter, and that won't be so harsh that we could feel this entire mountain, feel shake. Yes, definitely. And the kind of, because for cement mining they need a blast of a larger range of something around 50 meters or 60 meters, and when that happens, we were not able to show you, but because that is very frequent between 2 to 3 p.m. we'll try to get that on camera for you guys. But while I was speaking to you, I could feel this mountain shake. So that is the range, and all of this is illegal, Shivam. All of this, the range of those blasts which is used in those mining, the kind of trucks that you see on the other end, which are carrying those residual pebbles, those are also they are not legally allowed to sell those. But they're not only doing illegal work, they're also making double profit out of whatever is left here. They're making profit illegally.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Well, this is the period when there is a lull when it comes to terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir. And many a times you would have essentially seen the army also taking a back step. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we put out details of a proactive measure that has been taken by the Indian Army and why this is extremely significant in the backdrop of what we've always been saying, that Operation Sindoor is still continuing. What does this essentially mean? Tonight on This Is Exclusive, for the first time ever, we are putting out how exactly is the Indian Army really planning to flush out Pakistani terrorists, and does the threat still remain in places like Kishtwar and Doda? You're going to see never seen before images, videos really coming in from snow-covered areas in Jammu and Kashmir where there's been an active deployment, and more importantly, how exactly is this operation really being carried out, the winter operation, because that's the period that we've always spoken about, that there is a lull in the activities and perhaps a backstep even taken by the Indian Army. That's not the case this winter. We're going to get you an exclusive, detailed report in a short while from now. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Tripura student stabbed to death in Dehradun for objecting to racial abuse. 5 accused arrested, prime accused in the case absconding. More details coming up after the headlines. Protest against suspension of Sengar's jail term continues. Several women hold protest outside Parliament seeking justice for the survivor. Congress leader Digvijay Singh praises BJP and RSS, hails power of grassroots Swayamsevak workers. Lashkar commander Saifullah Kasuri's big admission on camera. He says Pakistani government listens to Lashkar leaders like chairman and vice chairman. The winter has set in, and so is the assumption that perhaps there's going to be a lull when it comes to terrorist activities, particularly in the Jammu and Kashmir region. But that's not the case. This time, the approach that has been adopted by the Indian Army is equally different than what we have seen in the past. The period between 21st of December and January 31st happens to be the time when it is assumed that there isn't going to be an attempt that is going to be made by the terror bases in Pakistan where they're going to push the terrorists. But this time, it's a different aspect altogether. Republic has now accessed exclusive pictures of security operations that the army has been carrying out. As the bone-chilling winter descends upon the Himalayas and the 40-day period of July Kalan grips Jammu and Kashmir. Sources in the defense establishment have essentially indicated that the army has intensified its counter-terrorism operations across Kishwar and Doda districts. They are undeterred by freezing temperatures, treacherous terrain and heavy snowfall. Army units have expanded their operational reach and into higher and snowbound areas to pursue and neutralize Pakistani terrorists attempting to exploit the harsh season for concealment. Now, traditionally, the onset of Chulai Kalan, the harshest phase of Kashmir's winter that is spanning from 21st of December to 31st of January, ushers, as I've been pointing out, a temporary lull in terrorist activities. Now, the reason being, communication routes close, heavy snowfall isolates the mountain regions. Now, this winter has marked a decisive shift in the operational approach of the Indian Army and the other security forces. We're going to go full frame now with this first set of images, 17 pictures that have been accessed by Republic TV, videos that we're going to play out in a short while from now. First, on your screens right now, snow-covered areas where temporary bases have also been created. The reason being is that the assessment that India has made, the intelligence agencies have made, that the attempt by the terror bases across the border appears to be still active. Contrary to the opinion that most security experts have about this particular period, where they see a dip when it comes to infiltration, it seems that's not the case. The assessment, we're going to put out the details of the assessment in a short while from now, but I'm going to just play out the video right now. Take a look at this video. We're not disclosing the exact location. We're not disclosing any details of the deployment, but just to give you a sense of what exactly is the change in the operational style this time, and why it should be seen in the backdrop of what we have been talking about, ongoing Operation Sindoor, the statement that has been made right from the Raksha Mantri to the Chief of Army Staff to all the other service chiefs who have all made this point that Operation Sindoor hasn't stopped. It is ongoing. An image that you see right now, I'm not going to go to the next breaking right now. First, I'm going to see about this particular picture. I'm going to stay full frame right now, not going out of this video that has been accessed. These are exclusive pictures. Can we just put this in to perspective right now? This is what we are calling Army's Winter March. First, I'm going to go across to our reporters on the ground. In fact, from Kishwar and Doda, I have my reporters there. Gursimran is going to give us an assessment of what's the situation on the ground. From the national capital is my colleague, our defense correspondent, Ishan, and General Panoon is also going to join us on this, help us understand why this is different and what does this mean. First to you, Gursimran, about the current assessment. I'm going to go back again with the pictures first. Gursimran.
Yes, Shawan, if we speak of the ongoing operations, yes, there has been a shift from the winter lull to the proactive approach that the Indian Army has inducted into the winter doctrine of the forces that are operating in the hinterland. Especially with regards to the Kishtwar and the Doda, we have seen that starting from 2021, all the terrorists that have infiltrated from the international border, what the route that they have followed is from the Kathua or Samba, they head towards the Udhampur and then to the Doda district and then in the upper reaches of the Kishtwar. Because what it is that in the upper reaches, they actually find a safe haven. But this time the strategy has been changed by the joint forces, and how they are operating, they are trying to actually ensure that the terrorists are pushed away from the areas where they can get and regular help from their outground workers or their ground support network that the terror groups has in the Kishtwar as well as in the Doda district. So they have been isolated as part of the operations that Indian Army has launched, that is surveillance, sweep and surveillance. What the Indian Army is doing, that they are carrying out the intensified operations along with the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the CRPF and also the Assam Rifles, and then they are moving from area to area. They are ensuring that the places that can act as the terror bases or the hideouts for the terrorists, they are not only cleared but also secured. Many of the temporary bases have been established by the Indian Army in the places in the upper reaches. If we speak of the Chatru area, which almost used to remain without the presence of forces during the winters, during the heavy snowfall. But now what has happened, that there have been multiple multiple temporary operating bases, the TOBs that the Indian Army has established in these snow-clad areas. What makes this difference? The first, this actually sends fear among the terrorists that there is an active presence of the Indian Army in that area. And second is the mobilization of the troop. In case of any input is generated, the Indian Army will have the troops there on the ground along with the J&K police that can be mobilized at a much faster speed. Now coming to the night operations, they have also been intensified with active support of the thermal sensors that Indian Army has inducted into its inventory, and also the UAVs that are carrying out the round-the-clock surveillance in the areas so that the threat can be neutralized, because the presence of the Pakistani terrorists, that too Jaish-e-Mohammed's terrorists trained for the jungle warfare, that has been on the radar of the security forces. Reason being that these terrorists are not the those who have recently infiltrated. These are those who have infiltrated way back in 2021, 22, 23, and they have a couple of years knowing this entire area. So for them, the security forces, the priority is to neutralize the old commanders that have been there, and they know the demography of the area, they know the geographical challenges, and also the locations of the hideout that are now being pinned by the security forces and cleared as part of the new winter doctrine of the Indian Army, that is surveillance, sweep and surveillance, so that they can keep an eye on the all possible hideouts that the terrorists may use to hide from the security forces. One thing that has changed, and we have seen the recent encounters in Udhampur also, that what is happening, that as soon as the bases of the terrorists are cleared by the Indian Armed Forces, the terrorists do not go to their secure bases. They move to the other area, and then the input generates and the forces launch the massive operations in the area. The support of the village defense groups that have been seen in the past also, where many of the VDGs, soon after getting the intel regarding the movement of the terrorists, they have informed the Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police, after which many of the successful operations have also been carried out. So this is the entire Indian Army's doctrine when it comes to these winters.
I'll request you to stay on with us, as I want to bring in General Pannoon on this broadcast. General Pannoon, thank you very much for joining us. Traditionally, it is seen that this is a period when there is going to be a lull in the activities, but it seems that the Indian Army has changed its tactics. I'm not getting into pure tactical issues here right now, but the fact of the matter is this, that if at all this is done, especially snow-covered areas that are now being targeted, and more importantly, the attempt to ensure that the terrorists remain at the higher reaches and they do not go any further. What do you really make of it in the backdrop of what the Raksha Mantri, the Chief of Army Staff, and the other service chiefs have been saying, that Operation Sindoor is ongoing?
Sivan, first, of course, you said Operation Sindoor is going, and the beginning of Operation Sindoor was a terrorist activity in Pahalgam, after which, of course, two nations went to a conflict that we are all aware of. There was in the hinterland, the army, in concert with the other security forces and agencies, have been trying to locate the terrorists who actually caused that grave act of terrorism and cowardice in Pahalgam. And of course, few months back, there was Operation Mahadev, where some of the terrorists were neutralized, and there was some identification of their having a link with the Pahalgam operations. On the other side, when you see traditionally, during summers or even during winters, there has been a lot of support by the terrorists in the past. But in a couple of years, the tourism going up, normalcy setting in, a lot of business was happening, a lot of tourists were getting into the valley. So this is what goes against the Pakistan strategy of bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. And they were literally on the verge of saying that, they cannot anymore carry out their proxy war operations. And therefore, they undertook what they did, as I made a reference to. Now today, during winters, of course, whatever infiltration had to happen would have happened during summers. But these people have to sustain. Couple of times it was seen that some of the groups do exfiltrate back to Pakistan during winters because they can't sustain here. But more and more, they have been getting active support by the local residents. They would stay back, but the local support is also fading away. So what happens is that these terrorists then locate themselves in higher reaches during winters if they have to sustain, because they cannot depend on the locals. as a result, they look for winter stocking and caches on the higher reaches when the graziers come down. In the summers, the graziers go up and all the blocks are occupied by the graziers, and therefore their location becomes, it gets compromised because the locals come and give information. Thinking that the docks which would be vacated by the graziers would be occupied by them, and some amount of caches or winter stocking they would have ensured through some people who are working for them. But during winter,
I'm a little curious.
The army has started operating in a very unorthodox manner, and they would not only
I find this very interesting. I find this very interesting, the word that you've used, unorthodox approach that has been adopted by the Indian Army. Now, at the cost of many accusing us, saying that why are we really talking about the operational issues of the Indian Army? I'm not talking about the operational aspect here, but I'm largely looking at the change, the manner in which the Indian Army is taking this forward. The unorthodox approach, as you're rightly pointing out, General Pannu, just from the point of curiosity here, why are we saying that this is so very different than what we have seen in the past?
See, over a period of time, you realize that when the operations are not happening, the contacts were not expected to happen during winters. But I think Indian Army encounter, they are actually wherever they would be during winters, and they would be picked up with technology, right from the ISR, from the space, from the drones, from the other surveillance grid that the military has established. I think there is a will to now make sure that wherever these groups could be hiding, they are going to make sure that they go from dock to dock, from any possibility of their having caches are destroyed. I think during winters, if they can liquidate the terrorist groups which are going to be addressed, I think they will not be able to sustain and then carry out operations further during summers. I think there is a huge shift between movement that the Indian Army would take. Otherwise, in Doda area, between Doda and Kazipur, South Kashmir, this is all high altitude area. And it's very steep, very tough, rocky, and there's hardly somewhere there is no jungle, but somewhere there is some jungle. So therefore, they will be able to segregate themselves, operate in jungles differently, operate in areas which is pure rocky mountains, operate there differently. So they would have segregated all this and taken the local support of village defense committees, because these are the people who know where the docks are. I think this time I see a very different trend, that the local Kashmiris are very much interested in leading the army into such areas where they suspect that they could be hiding either in some kind of a natural hideout, or there is a dock, or in the forest area.
General Pannu, I'll just request you to stay on with us because I'm getting in more details right now. In fact, another breaking news now coming in with regards to the assessment that has been made. Now, in fact, as far as this assessment goes, this is an assessment that has been made by various intelligence agencies that have been working. There are approximately 30 to 35 Pakistani terrorists currently in the Jammu region. Now, inputs that have been gathered over the past few months suggest that these Pakistani terrorist groups, finding themselves cornered by successful counter-terror operations, have shifted deeper into higher and middle mountain reaches of the region, areas that are now devoid of any sort of habitation. These terrorists are believed to be seeking temporary winter hideouts to evade detection and avoid direct confrontation with the security troops. Reports are also indicating that these remnants of terror groups are attempting to coerce, threaten local villagers for shelter and food supplies, though their support among the locals and overground workers has sharply declined. Now, this has a direct impact because the drying local support and continuous security vigilance at lower altitudes have basically forced them into isolation, further restricting their ability to regroup or even plan coordinated attacks. Let me go across to our defense correspondent and my colleague. I'm going to go back to the next breaking in a short while from now, but let me just get a quick word from Gursimran, and then I'll go back to Ishan. Gursimran, the assessment that has come in from our sources within the intelligence agencies, 30 to 35 active Pakistani terrorists right now. But again, that brings in the question that is there a problem that has come up, particularly given the fact that there is a large push that has been made by the Pakistani establishment to ensure that the infiltration still continues? Because there was a time when one would have seen there would have been a sharp decline as far as infiltration attempts are concerned. Are you seeing, as someone on the ground, that there is an uptick as far as the infiltration attempts are concerned?
Sishavan, that's very true, and especially on the international border, this is a serious concern. Reason being that for the last more than a couple of years, we have seen large-scale infiltration taking place, and there was a decision that was taken by the BSF when we saw that the DG BSF was changed and also the special DG BSF was changed, because at that given time, the intelligence input suggested that 5 to 6 groups of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, they have sneaked in from the Pathankot, from the Kathua and from Samba, and after that, there was realignment of the border duties that were done to the Jammu frontier of the BSF as well after the infiltration attempts that were made from across the border, and many of them, as per the intelligences, they were successful. Now coming to the number 30 to 35 is the number. This is roughly 7 to 9 groups of Jaish-e-Mohammed that have infiltrated in last couple of years, and all of them have gone to Doda, Kishtwar, and some of them are operating in the Udhampur. In the Kishtwar, it is said to be 3 to 4 groups, majority of the groups in the area of the Kishtwar's Kuntwara, where they have carried out the ISIS style beheading last year, and also in the nearby area of the Keshwan forest, that Baul has presence of 2 groups, because there have been Thoraya intercepts that have been done by the security forces. Now coming to this side of the Kishtwar, also 1 to 2 groups are. So total number of 4 groups are roughly believed to be in the Kishtwar. 2 to 3 groups in the upper reaches of the Doda district. They are believed to be active in the Thatri area, in the Gando area, where a group of Jaish of 3 terrorists was neutralized. And now in the Udhampur also, there is a presence of group. Shavan.
Thank you very much, Gursimran. I'll request you to stay on with us. I'm going to take another breaking news now coming in. As far as the focus that we're essentially looking at, the principal focus for the army and other forces this winter is basically twofold: to eliminate the remaining terrorist pockets within the known areas, and to ensure that terrorists remain confined to inhospitable higher reaches. Now, this containment strategy not only prevents terrorists from infiltrating or regrouping in the populated belts, but also significantly disrupts their logistics and communication channels, reducing any sort of operational capability. Let me bring in my colleague, our defense correspondent Ishan, joining us on this broadcast. There is a change in the approach, as we have been pointing out, and this, many would say, a radical change. Help us understand this, Ishan. What exactly is the approach that has been adopted by the Indian Army?
Shavan, normally what we see is that during this extreme winter season, we reduce our troop presence, and we also and the terrorist activity is also reduced because the inoperability of the region and the hostile nature of this region. But this time the Indian Army has increased its presence and has used technology, specifically IR cameras, ground-based sensors, and most importantly loitering drones, to ensure and find out these terrorists. Now the region of Doda and Kishtwar lies in a very strategic region, that is between the valleys of Pir Panjal and Chenab. Now this region is normally being used for transiting between across the border and back into the Indian side. So this time Indian Army has increased its presence and is ensuring and keeping up the pressure on the terrorists so that they do not get a chance to regroup and they do not get a chance to, strategize back and plan for the attacks. Back to you, Shavan.
Thank you very much, Ishan, for joining us on this broadcast. I'll request both of you to stay on. Just a final word coming in from General Panun. General Panun, what message does it really send across? Because, in the current situation where I call him as failed Marshal, not Field Marshal, failed Marshal Asim Munir's attempts that are now being made. Do you believe that the Pakistanis are also now trying to change their approach? Because I believe in the last few days there have been some policy changes, anti-drone systems are being brought in. But along with anti-drone systems, their old tactic of sending in more Pakistani terrorists are basically increasing. So do you believe that that is also a change in their way of handling the situation?
Well, as far as Pakistan is concerned, they will continue to pursue the proxy war, obviously by changing the modus operandi. Sometimes, they send local terrorists, but this time you find that some of the SSG or Pakistan Army-led terrorists have also possibly infiltrated, and that is where you find ISI handlers have been in touch with them, while they are also using technology where they don't get detected. But during winters, when the helicopters, we have armed helicopters, we have all the surveillance devices and the combat drone systems. I think all this put together will maybe teach the local terrorists that whether it is 24/7 or 12 months in a year, they will always face the pursuit from the Indian Army, supported by the locals and the security forces. And the locals are the ones who have understood the futility of playing into the hands of ISI and into the hands of Pakistan Army. In any case, I think in Pakistan itself, the way their field marshal that you're talking about, though has succeeded to usurp power, it is basically because why he has usurped power is because there is no support from people. So therefore, when the people have lost the confidence in their own military, the military tightens the grip on the people and have dragged the locals or local civilians of Pakistan into the military courts. I think this is the worst situation within Pakistan, and I think the time has come where internally Pakistan is going to be broken against the army, and also there will be no respite to the terrorists in India, whether it is winters or summers.
General Pannu, a special thank you to you for joining us in a very short notice, and I can see that you're moving from one place to the other. So thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. And also, thank you very much, Gursimran and Ishan, for joining us on this special broadcast of This Is Exclusive. That was a special report coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshita.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा राजा और मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
We are willing to put an end to this conflict via peaceful means based on the principles that I outlined in July last year when I spoke at the Foreign Ministry of Russia.
Putin squarely blamed Kyiv for the failure of peace negotiations, accusing Ukraine's leadership of refusing dialogue.
statements from Zelensky that he is not prepared to discuss territory issues. At the moment, we don't see their readiness. I would like to remind where it all began.
Rejecting allegations against Russia, Putin
From your smartphones to smart televisions, the trending stories are always breaking the internet. And today we have a power-packed lineup for you. Stories that are going viral all over the internet and have garnered major traction. We first bring you the heartwarming visual that has gone viral on the internet. Bal Puraskar awardee Esther was spotted singing the emotionally stirring patriotic song Vande Mataram, Ma Tujhe Salam. The Prime Minister watched on when she was on stage receiving the award. Next up, we'll also get you the scenes from Mumbai, where AP Till Now's India tour concert went viral all over the internet. And no, it's not just because of Sanjay Dutt's entry, but also the chemistry that was witnessed on stage between him and Tara Sutaria, and Tara Sutaria's alleged boyfriend's reaction as well. And moving on, we also bring to you the major update, the big update from the filmverse. The Hyderabad police have filed a charge sheet against a prominent Telugu actor Allu Arjun and 22 others in connection with the Stampede case. All this and more on Trending Tonight with me, Rakshita. Now, little Esther Nante has cemented her name in history as she was awarded the Pradhan Mantri Bal Shakti Puraskar, the highest award, civilian award, by the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, at the Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. The 9-year-old prodigal singer would also be the first child from Mizoram to receive this prestigious award. And she's won hearts on the internet as clips of her singing have gone viral, especially for her soulful rendition of Vande Mataram, as the Prime Minister watched along indulgently. Here's playing you the clip, and then we'll be joined by the little wonder herself.
एक प्यारा सोनिया एक दिल चाहिए that's made in India देखी है सारी दुनिया जापान से लेके रशिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया से लेके अमेरिका वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम जहाँ वह सारा जहाँ देख लिया है कहीं भी तेरे जैसा कोई नहीं है 80 नहीं 100 दिन दुनिया घुमा है नहीं कहे तेरे जैसा कोई नहीं मैं गया जहाँ भी बस तेरी याद थी जो मेरे साथ थी मुझको तड़पाती रुलाती सबसे प्यारी तेरी सूरत प्यार है बस तेरा प्यार ही माँ तुझे सलाम माँ तुझे सलाम मामा तुझे सलाम.
All right, in fact, we are being joined by Esther herself and along with the father. And many congratulations to you, Esther. Of course, you've made India proud. How does it feel when you receive this award, Esther?
I feel excited.
I feel excited.
Very happy.
Very happy.
Yes. And sir, if you could just tell us, how have her journey as a singer, she's all of 9, she's very, very young, but what made her take up singing, her interest in singing, what really inspired her to take up singing? Sir, can you hear me?
Doan, kachung ten Hindi lahi saro mintia.
Sir, you can speak in English, sir. Yeah, you can translate, sir.
She says that she loves singing the patriotic song,
yes.
Hindi song, and besides that, most of the songs she sang is selected by the family. So she learned and she performed it.
Mr. Lalrinenga, my question to you, sir, how did she get inspiration for patriotic songs? Because her love for country is very much, something that everybody is really loving to watch. They just love watching her singing the patriotic song, and a love for country is running in her blood. Sir, you can answer it for her, sir. You can answer it, sir, yourself.
TV attack and China, Hindi
TV attack and China, Hindi late TV.
Sir, you can, sorry to interrupt, sir. You can answer in English for her, sir. Mr. Lalrinenga.
Yes, she heard this patriotic song from YouTube, from television. So she loved singing, and she used to sing along the TV, YouTube, and then she came to realize that those patriotic songs were very good and very good to sing. So that is her inspiration for singing this patriotic song.
And did the Prime Minister say anything to her? Any words for her? Did he tell her anything?
Prime Minister. She says that the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, says that you are very talented, you sing very well. She says that.
And does she want to become a singer?
Singer,
yes.
All right, we can see that. In fact, everybody, the entire nation, the Prime Minister has also recognized the talent, and we do wish her all the very, very best. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, Esther, for joining us on Republic TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, now we'll move on to the other trending story that's breaking the internet. Singer AP Dillon has been, his clips are going viral for the one-on-one tour. This is as clips from his concerts in Mumbai have taken over the internet. All part of his one-on-one tour, his concert schedule was already sending netizens into a flurry of purchasing tickets before the Bollywood twist at Mumbai absolutely won the internet's hearts. Now, AP Dillon's, this is one of the clips from the concert, and it wasn't just the albums that sent fans into an internet meme splurge that night. It was the clip of Bollywood star Tara Sutaria with AP on stage that sent fans into a frenzy. And one moment in particular was when fans were actually awkward and really, pointing out too, was when Tara Sutaria was hugged and, of course, kissed on the cheek by AP Dillon. And the camera straight away zoomed in to her boyfriend Veer Paharia's face. And this clip, this expression of his, captured on camera, has gone viral. Veer was seen watching in bewilderment, at least. That's how many of the fans on internet are describing this as. And another star sighting that went viral from the concert is the clip when we see AP Dillon guiding Sanjay Dutt as the actor stops to shake hands with fans cheering from behind the barricade. The moment ends with the two stars sharing a hug. In another video, we also see AP Dillon inviting Sanjay onto the stage, introducing him to the crowd. Well, he did not need any introduction, but yes, he gives him a shout out. He gets a shout out, and the singer also says, of course, asked the crowd to give him a shout out and also touched his feet.
Enjoy my pra AP Dillon. Chakde Patel, let's go!
Yo, Mumbai, make some noise for this legend, man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, pa. मेरा छोटा भाई है. सड़क पंजाबी मुंडा. New Year.
So AP Dillon was also seen touching Sanjay's feet in a heartwarming moment, and fans were thrilled at the reunion at the star sighting, as the two have last collaborated for a music video titled Old Money. And time to take a quick look at the trends that are running hot on social media today. Indian women's cricket continues to rewrite history. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur has become the most successful T20 captain across men's and women's cricket after India's 8-wicket win over Sri Lanka in Thiruvananthapuram. With 77 wins from 130 matches, Harmanpreet overtook Australia's Meg Lanning to claim the all-time record, cementing her legacy as one of the most influential leaders in world cricket. India's premier all-rounder Deepti Sharma scripted another historic milestone as she became the first Indian cricketer to complete 150 wickets, male and female, both, in the sense that in both men's cricket and female cricket, she has surpassed this big achievement, and she's also surpassed Australian great Elise Perry to become the third highest wicket taker in women's international cricket, underlining her consistency and dominance in the shortest format. For the first time since 1907, Times Square will host a second iconic ball drop, this time in July. The special event will mark America's 250th Independence Day anniversary in 2026. Organizers say a preview of the celebrations will take place just minutes after the traditional New Year's Eve ball drop, blending history with spectacle on a global stage. After more than 26 years and 1,000 plus episodes, the legendary anime One Piece is ending its first season on the 20th of December. First aired in 1999, the show shaped generations of anime fans worldwide. The series will now shift to a seasonal format from 2026, following a planned hiatus, closing one of the longest running chapters in television history. After more than 2 decades, Google is finally rolling out a feature many of you have been waiting for years: the ability to change Gmail addresses. Yes, this update will allow users to modify outdated or awkward usernames without creating a new account. That gives millions a chance to clean up their digital identity, at least once for all, if it's rolled out. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has announced she's expecting a second child, calling it the greatest Christmas gift. Leavitt shared that a baby girl is due in May next year, and at just 28, she remains the youngest person to serve in the role, balancing motherhood with one of Washington's most demanding jobs. A woman's love for Monsters Inc. has reached extraordinary levels. She has transformed nearly her entire home into a themed space inspired by the Pixar classic. And the best part is that she even changed her last name to match the movie's lead character. Every room except the bedroom is fully decorated, making it a living tribute to animated fandom. Reality star Mickey Lee from Big Brother, all of 27, died of Big Brother 27 season. Died at the age of 35. Her family confirmed that she passed away after suffering a series of cardiac arrests. Fellow contestants and fans have poured in tributes, remembering her as a warm, positive presence. Sometimes patience wears thin, even those in uniform, especially they do know how to give it back to miscreants or those who are just troubling the masses. So in a busy Hazratganj area of Lucknow, an RPF Jawan delivered a moment that has since gone viral after a boy repeatedly blasted a loudspeaker in public, causing chaos and disturbance. The Jawan decided to turn the tables, and we'll just put the volume up. So instead of warnings or fines, he offered him a taste of his own medicine, and it was just a live demo class, placing the loudspeaker right next to his ears. And ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you a major development in the Pushpa 2 Stampede case. The police have officially filed a charge sheet in Pushpa 2 case, Stampede case. The theatre management, that is Sandhya Theatre Management, has been named as the prime accused in the charge sheet. Allu Arjun named as accused number 11. This, as the police confirmed, that the stampede occurred due to negligence of the Sandhya Theatre Management. Arjun aside, this charge sheet has been filed against 23 people, including Arjun's manager, personal staff and 8 bouncers. And just to tell you about the case, stampede happened when fans gathered to catch a glimpse of the actor during the Pushpa 2 premiere. And following the incident, the city police registered a case against him, his security team also, and the theatre management under different sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita at a police station based on a complaint lodged by the deceased woman's family. Allu Arjun and the makers of the Pushpa film had extended financial assistance to the family of the boy as well. But the Telangana government had also announced financial assistance. All right, the CISF has released a heartwarming visual with a message. The message being that sometimes duty speaks the language of kindness. At the arrival area, a little girl, overwhelmed with joy on seeing her father, rushed ahead without a second thought. With calmness and care, a CISF personnel gently stepped in, keeping her safe while ensuring security protocols were followed. Handled with patience, empathy and a human touch, the moment reflected how duty and compassion can walk hand in hand. And now let's take a look at the trends that are running fast on the internet. Reigning classical world champion chess D. Gukesh continued his dominant run at the FIDE World Rapid Championships 2025, registering his 4th consecutive victory after defeating Iran's Sina Movahed. Gukesh ended day 1 with 4.5 points out of 5, emerging as joint leader. He shares the top spot with India's Arjun Erigaisi, world number 1 Magnus Carlsen, as the championship opened with high-intensity chess and tight competition. Despite mixed reactions online, the Smurfs emerged as Paramount Pictures' most profitable release of 2025, earning $124 million worldwide on a modest $58 million budget. While Variety graded the studio a C for the year, netizens questioned whether the film's box office success truly reflected audience engagement, reigniting debates over profit versus popularity. India women cruised to an emphatic 8-wicket win over Sri Lanka in 3rd T20 International, sealing an unassailable 3-0 lead in the 5-match series. Shafali Verma dazzled with a blistering unbeaten 50, while Renuka Singh returned in style, claiming 4 wickets to restrict Sri Lanka to 112 for 7. Hosts continued their commanding run in Trivandrum. Netizens were left amused as Peppa Pig Season 8 is prepared to launch on Netflix. Despite being on air for over 21 years, the beloved children's show has produced just 8 seasons. Social media users could not resist joking that while time has passed, Daddy Pig's tummy has not changed, keeping the humor as evergreen as the show. Stranger Things 5 has become the lowest rated season of the franchise on Rotten Tomatoes following the release of Volume 2 with a critic score of 84% and an audience score of 72%. Reactions mark a noticeable dip compared to earlier seasons. The much anticipated finale is set to release on the 31st of December this year, keeping fans divided but invested. Universal's Wicked for Good is set for a 30th December PVOD release following a 43-day exclusive theatrical window. Last year's Wicked proved a digital gold, earning $70 million in its first PVOD week. Now, expectations remain high as studios continue to balance box office runs with early digital releases. Ariana Grande has shattered records, becoming the most listened to female artist ever on Spotify, peaking at 126.8 million monthly listeners. Achieving the milestone during Christmas week, Grande overtook The Weeknd to claim this global top spot, marking yet another defining moment in her chart-dominating career. And viewers, as we come to a close, we leave you with a glimpse into Indian Army's latest achievement for sustainable infrastructure. The Indian Army has conceived, designed and executed India's first geothermal net zero energy building at Jhansi, marking a major milestone in sustainable infrastructure. The facility integrates a 10 kilowatt rooftop solar PV system with a geothermal network that exchanges heat with stable underground temperatures through vertical closed loop boreholes, delivering highly efficient heating and cooling tailored to composite climatic conditions. And this project, in fact, exemplifies the Indian Army's in-house capability to conceptualize, validate and deliver high-technology, climate-resilient infrastructure, reflecting professional excellence, innovation and self-reliance. Watch this as we say goodbye.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार. MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला. MDH.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो.
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता. टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात. वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है. अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और प्योर मसाला.
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी. What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं.
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा. रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड. अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने.
We just now felt this entire mountain shiver because there are blasts going on. As we were telling you, usually for the limestone mining, the acceptable range of the blast is around 1 meter. And that won't be so harsh that we could feel this entire mountain, feel shake. Yes, definitely. And the kind of, because for cement mining, they need blast of a larger range of something around 50 meters or 60 meters. And when that happens, we were not able to show you, but because that is very frequent between 2 to 3 p.m. we'll try to get that on camera for you guys. But while I was speaking to you, I could feel this mountain shake. So that is the range, and all of this is illegal, Shivam. All of this, the range of those blasts which is used in those mining, the kind of trucks that you see.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और प्योर मसाला।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
We are willing to put an end to this conflict via peaceful means based on the principles that I outlined in July last year when I spoke at the Foreign Ministry of Russia.
Putin squarely blamed Kyiv for the failure of peace negotiations, accusing Ukraine's leadership of refusing dialogue.
Statements from Zelensky that he is not prepared to discuss territory issues. At the moment, we don't see their readiness. I would like to remind where it all began.
Rejecting allegations against
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और प्योर मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
We we just now felt this entire mountain shiver because there are blasts going on. As we were telling you, usually for the limestone mining, the acceptable range of the blast is around 1 meter. And that won't be so harsh that we could feel this entire mountain, feel shake. Yes, definitely. And the kind of, because for cement mining, they need a blast of a larger range of something around 50 meters or 60 meters. And when that happens, we were not able to show you, but because that is very frequent between 2 to 3 p.m., we'll try to get that on camera for you guys. But while I was speaking to you, I could feel this mountain shake. So that is the range, and all of this is illegal, Shivam. All of this, the range of those blasts which is used in those mining, the kind of trucks that you see.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.